Hey everyone, welcome back to Epic Film Sleuth. Today we are going to recap the blend of romantic, fantasy, and comedy movie, What Women Want. So let's watch this without wasting any time. This classic American film features Mel Gibson as Nick Marshall, a man who believes men are superior to women, but suddenly develops the power to listen to women's minds. Nick learns to appreciate the diversity of women's experiences, from his teenage daughter with an attitude to his ambitious and brilliant boss, loaded with humor and warm moments. This movie explores love, compassion, and self-discovery. Let's watch this movie full of romance, fantasy, and comedy. Nick Marshall is an advertising executive from Chicago. He grew up with his single mother in Las Vegas. As a result, all of his life, Nick was surrounded by women, and he's never had a shortage of women's attention, which has turned him into a chauvinist who thinks of himself as God's gift to women. Nick is married to a woman named Gigi and has a 15-year-old daughter named Alex with her. Gigi has recently married a guy named Ted, while Alex doesn't have a good relationship with Nick because of his lack of interest in her life. Nick has a host of other women in his life who have color or trouble in his life, like his maid Stella, his crush Lola, who works at his favorite coffee shop, and many others. Nick is very good at his job, and he is very skilled at selling products to men, although he knows how to seduce and attract women. His knowledge of women's psyche is only surface level, with women becoming the fastest growing consumer group in the US. Nick's abilities and skills are fast becoming obsolete. It finally hits him when he learns that his boss Dan is hiring a woman named Darcy McGuire for the position of the company's new creative director, a post that Nick was sure was his. Darcy is one of the most successful creative directors in the field of advertising in the country. And at a wedding reception, Gigi tells Nick that she's going on a 2-week-long honeymoon with her new husband and asks him to take care of their daughter Alex till she comes back from her honeymoon. Nick also learns that Alex has an 18-year-old boyfriend, Cameron. Nick doesn't approve of his daughter having a boyfriend, but Alex couldn't care less, as Nick has never really been present in her life. Darcy, a company executive, aims to tap into the women's consumer market by providing employees with a box of feminine products. Nick, a creative entrepreneur, struggles to find ideas to sell these products. He uses a pop CD to brainstorm ideas while drinking alcohol, but his attempts are met with resentment from Alex and Cameron. Nick's drunken brainstorming leads to an accident, resulting in shock and unconsciousness. Nick's ability to hear women's thoughts and experiences worsens as he encounters various women in the park and at work. He learns about the negative attitudes of his co-workers, including Erin, who wants to take her own life, and Annie, an Ivy League secretary, who sees him as degrading. Annie calls her boyfriend in Israel to take revenge on the firm. Overwhelmed by these unkind thoughts, Nick is escorted to a meeting with co-worker Morgan, where he uses his ability to hear women's thoughts to impress Darcy. The meeting is a pivotal moment in the story, as Nick's ability to understand and connect with women continues to shape his career and personal life. Hey, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe and press the notification icon so you don't miss future videos from my channel. Enjoy. When he returns home from work, he walks in on his daughter making out with her boyfriend. Angry, Nick asks Cameron to leave, which further enrages Alex, and she says horrible things about Nick in her thoughts. After Alex leaves with her boyfriend, Nick, fed up with women talking trash about him in their heads, again tries to electrocute himself back to normalcy, but without success. The next morning, Nick seeks the help of his marriage therapist, Dr. Perkins, who also seems to hate him. At first, she doesn't believe him, but he's able to prove to her that he can hear her every thought. However, instead of helping him get rid of the gift, Dr. Perkins makes him realize that he is the luckiest man on earth for being able to decipher what women want. She tells him that he could rule the world with his gift. Armed with that new perspective, Nick entices Lola, who always refused his advances before. He says everything she wants to hear and convinces her to go on a date with him. Meanwhile, at work, Nick begins to develop real friendships with his female co-workers. He asks Annie to give his greetings to her boyfriend in Israel and helps Erin with her files. He also learns through Darcy's thoughts that she is secretly working to secure Nike's project and offers to help. During their conversation, Darcy learns that Nick has a daughter who is about to go to prom. She notes how the prom dress is a big deal for girls. After returning home, Nick comes home to find Alex with her two friends talking about prom. He greets Alex's friends, who initially hate him for being a deadbeat dad, but he quickly changes their opinion by offering to take Alex shopping for her prom dress. He also apologizes to Alex for overreacting earlier. Nick, a man with a unique ability to understand and read women, uses his powers to create the perfect date for Lola and make love to her. He spends more time around women's spaces and polishes his understanding and reading skills, impressing Lola with his abilities. Nick's relationship with his daughter improves after he helps her find a prom dress for her dance. However, things go south when Nick suspects that Alex's 18-year-old boyfriend only wants to sleep with her before dumping her. He tries to give her the parent talk about not doing it if she's not ready and waiting for the right guy, but she doesn't have any of it. At work, Nick exploits Darcy's feelings for him, which works perfectly at first. However, as he spends more time with Darcy, he finds himself being attracted to her. One night, they kiss, and later, Nick finds Lola outside his apartment complex. Lola is heartbroken and distraught about Nick not calling her since they made love. To save her feelings, he tells her that he is gay, and if he was straight, he would have married her. On the day of the presentation, Nick feels guilty about stealing Darcy's ideas and asks Darcy to make the pitch to the Nike team. Darcy insists that the ad campaign is his idea, and Nick turns down her promotion. Erin, the office secretary who wanted to end her life, has not shown up for work and hasn't called in sick either. Nick goes to Erin's home to stop her, but witnesses an electrical explosion while standing in the rain. He finds a suicide letter in Erin's home, but fortunately, she hasn't gone through with it. While talking to Erin, Nick realizes that he's not hearing her thoughts anymore, and he concludes that he lost his gift. Afterwards, he goes over to Darcy's home, but he is not able to reach her and leaves. Nick then receives a call from a worried Gigi, who reveals that Alex was very upset on the phone with her before she went out of contact. Worried, Nick swiftly goes over to Alex's prom dance, looking for her. He finds her crying in the hotel washroom. He gets her to open up, and she reveals that her boyfriend broke up with her after she told him that she was not ready to make love. Nick tells her that he is proud of her for standing her ground and that alone puts her ahead of most people in the game. Comforted by her father's words, Alex finally stops crying, and she goes back home with him. He puts her to bed and goes over to Darcy's in the middle of the night again. This time, he finds her at home and confesses everything to her. He tells her that he'd been stealing ideas because he was upset that she took the job he was supposed to get, and that Dan wants her back at the office. He also confesses his feelings about her. Darcy is shocked by the revelations. At first, she is at a loss for words, and when she finally speaks, she tells him that she's firing him. Nick doesn't see it coming, but he realizes he deserves it and accepts it. When Nick proceeds to leave, Darcy tells him that she also forgives him and agrees to save him from himself. Blissful, Nick calls her the Power Woman and an inspiration for others, and they kiss. Thank you for watching. If you want to enjoy more recaps like this one, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share the recap of this awesome movie. We'll see you in the next. Take care.